Yeah.
And like you dig into so much of these old books and like the science magazines, the electronic magazines of 100, 150 years ago. And even that, just there's been a literal reset of consciousness and technology in that timeline. When we're talking about resets, that it's mind-blowing how advanced we truly were on the analog level only 100, 150 years.
We've gone backwards, mate. We've gone absolutely backwards.
Speaking of old world healing, that's another thing you get into a lot, is the electric tech of 100, 200 years ago a lot. Oh,
yeah. I mean, I've got a box here, mate.
Yeah, do you want to maybe, if you got it there, show it up. Beautiful.
So this is called a magneto-electro machine. And it's literally, I'm restoring it now. So I don't know about the lighting. So this is it here. This is her. This is the baby.
So look at that beauty. We can see her good.
So you've got the wheel. This will spin. It spins these copper coils, and obviously it's passing constantly through the magnetic field. And my cat's falling down. And your hands will be connected to these basically. So you plug this in. It's got a wire around it, a metal wire, conductive metal wire. You plug it into there, and you've got another one. You plug it into there. So the guy or the geezer, the doctor, will wind this up, and it will create a current, and it will go through these and pass through your body. And you're meant to put it on one part of a damaged part of the body, and you're meant to hold the other part. So it goes direct to the damaged bit, and then passes back through for a circuit. That's how it works. But this has got a little meter on the top, and it says electrical indicator. But I don't know what it's measuring, because it goes 5, 10, 15, 20, all the way up to 100. So I don't know what that is measuring. I've got a PDF for it now, so I am going to be looking into it. But there's also another little knob at the side. I took it apart and put it together just to find out if there was anything missing. But this wheel, I mean, look how grand that wheel, just for a little wheel. I mean, I don't know if you're going to see it, but it was really well detailed, bit of brass, you know. And the meter, if you can see that well.
Oh yeah.
But my point is this little knob here. When you twist it, when you go clockwise or anti-clockwise, it puts tension on a cable here. This little cable, you won't be able to see it. And I don't know what that's doing. I think that's doing something to do with the magnetic field. So it's keeping it at a specific distance. So when the copper wires are passing the magnetic field, it's creating a specific current. That's what I believe. That's the only explanation for it. But it says in here, I'll read it out to you in a sec. In there, it says magneto-electric machine for nervous and other diseases. This machine has been designed expressly for the use of the medical profession and for invalids who are unable to take exercise, suffering from rheumatism and various other complaints. So yeah. And do you know what it smells like? Oh, it smells old. It smells like an old sports hall when you was a child at school.
It's not the good old, the stanky old.
Yeah, that like smelly, dirty wooden feet sort of smell, you know. But that's been around. That's 170 years old, BurnEye. So that's been around the block, mate.
Man, you're getting it working and restoring it. That's actually amazing. There's so much to you. You're such a depth. You're like an onion, Paul. Just layers upon layers of amazingness.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. But with that being said, I'm also, if I had the money, I'd buy it all straight away. But there's two other pieces of tech that I'm going to be getting. So one is the electromagneto brush, which is, I don't know why I brush my hair. It's not actually for hair. It's for skin. So it's like this, it creates a static electric charge, and it's meant to heal you when you brush certain parts of your body. Parts of your body. And there's also another one called the ultraviolet ray that I'm going to get. And that one's going to be very good because it actually shoots out like electric. Have you seen that? shoots out the electric into
Yeah,
yeah.
the the plasma arc.
Yeah, so that's another one I'm going to be getting, and the reason I specifically chose them three is because I've got extremely good, high quality images of adverts of these things. So not only can we sit there and play around with it, we'll also see what's going on with it and how they advertised it back in the day.
Amazing.
Yeah,
And like you dig into so much of these old books and like the science magazines, the electronic magazines of 150 years ago, and even that, just there's been a literal reset of consciousness and technology in that timeline. When we're talking about resets, that it's mind-blowing how advanced we truly were on the analog level only 150 years.
We've gone backwards, mate. We've gone absolutely backwards. You know, like, I mean, just look at electric cars. The first electric car was 1832. What's that? 190 years ago. Like 190 years ago, they brought out an electric car. And now they're pushing it now. So what's happened? Like what I know what's happened. I know what's happened. It's the petrol, wasn't it? They pushed for petrol because people owned these petrol companies. That's what it was all about. And now the same thing's happening, but it's just shifting to electricity. So it's yeah, all things that happen in our lives are done by people for profit above at a higher, much higher echelon or higher realm.
I couldn't agree more with you on that one. It's sad, it's sickening, but that's why we're coming together and sharing this and figuring it all out and making for a better 2023 where free energy is coming to you and me, as is energy healing and so much more.
It's going to be knocking on your door.
Right? Exactly. We already are. We're here. It's happening. So this one's your old world tech video that's still up. It's fairly recent, I think a month old or two. And like right here, you're showing one of the electric cars where what the heck, like.
No, Burn, this is not an electric car. This is a car that runs on ether. Well, yeah, electricity from the ether.
So, yeah, ether. Yeah, right? Yeah. Like etherical energy. Just.
And this is like in Malta, you see these little balls are on top of nearly every house. And I always thought, what the flipping hell are they doing? They must be collecting something. But that's where they collect the charge from the ether, and it comes into the house, and that's a point where you can connect your old world tech to and get electricity from.
100%. It's a giant spark gap. Spherical antennas that are pulling it in, the plasma energy out of the ether. You're bang on with that.
But these are old images of like I think these are early 1900s.
Electric scooters,
exactly. like I think, I don't know if that has a Royal Mail, which is the English post service, or it was a post service in a different country, but they're kitted out with bloody electric scooters.
Right, exactly. It's like we all thought it was just this new revolution like 10 or 15 years ago, and it's like no, that's actually 150 years old. Just mind-blowing. And these devices right here,
these are all, you know what these are anyway. These are static generated. These generate electricity statically, and they've also got Leyden jars. So these are Leyden jars where you store the electricity. So what you're looking at is things that generate it and then things that store it.
Exactly. Your own home electrical power station.
Exactly. And again, I had a book from the 18 or maybe the 1900s, and it was a children's book, well, a teenager book, and it was showing you how to make electricity at home yourself and store it, like in this little Leyden jar that you're going screening past now. Up at that Leyden jar, look, this is a series of them, so it's like a battery.
So exactly, it's a cell. It's a huge cell, storage cell.
Yeah, look at this. This is just phenomenal stuff. So again, you've got the two balls. Can you see that power? Like on the other side, not what I'm looking at now, on the other side. So these are the two balls. Like one's going to have the power, and that's where you draw it from.
Oh, the smaller and the larger.
Yeah. So this one would be, I guess, on the top of the house, and then you connect to this one to go and get the power from it. And you can discharge these as well, mate. You can discharge them.
Right, and it's one goes to the ground, one to the atmosphere antenna, and then it's the differential between the two that will give you
Well,
the
if you
biggest
can
charge.
scroll that up a bit, Ben, there's a certain handle or device that you can use. Oh, you can't scroll it up.
No,
Sorry, mate.
sorry, it's the video playing. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, so right, that's it there. Like, see that thing on the bottom left-hand corner next to the Leyden jar? It looks like on the
This
other
guy.
side.
This
No.
guy.
Yes, that. So you've got the Leyden jar, yeah?
Yeah.
That stores static electricity inside that,
Yeah.
right? The thing next to it is what you God, I've gone mind blank now. How you get rid of it if you don't want the electricity in
Discharge it.
you sit. So you connect the ball to the top, and you touch the foil around the outside, and it discharges it safely. So that's how you get the power. Yeah. So you get the power out of the jars, so you can transport them or do. I don't know what you want to do with them.
Or connect the jar to the Van de Graaff generator, the Wilhurst generator, I guess. Well, Wimhurst, yes,
Wimhurst, that's right. Discharge, that's right. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'll go through so much information. It's hard to pick out something on demand sometimes, you know.
Oh, I feel you, brother. I'm the exact same. Like, just so much knowledge all at once, and then always when you go live, you can never remember like the most important word or
the most basic word. The most basic word. You're like, oh,
yeah,
God.
That too, for sure, right? Like, finally remembering Guanpongdo in the basalt place out in the islands in Polynesia or Micronesia or whatnot. Could never remember it. Or once again, still can't remember it. Every freaking time I forget the name of the one in is it Cambodia or the Epic Temple? See, once again, brain fart every time. Anywho, I'm gonna shut up and stop fumbling and mumbling and let you continue on describing.
All right, mate. God, I don't know what we're up to. I'm just waffling on and on. Free flow BS.
Leyden jars, and then
So this is it. This is wicked because this is actually showing you in how it works. So you'd wind this up. Yeah? You'd wind this up.
Apparatus. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah, you wind this up. You can see you can spin that, and it will create a static charge, and that charge will be transferred straight into the Leyden jars.
Anchor Watt. Thank you. That's the name I always forget. Anchor Watt. Everybody knows. I stutter on it every time and forget it. It's ridiculous. But yes, the Wimhurst generator to the Leyden jars, and then what's this little grid circuit thing they have?
That's what I was just looking at.
That's a series circuit there, like a little breaker board.
Yeah, I mean, I must have what's the word?
Fascinating.
Spoke about this in a video, but I can't actually remember what this little gadget's doing. But I know it's taking power from the Leyden jars.
Right, and it's showing wiring them in
series,
and then the anode cathode discharge part or cathode.
I think there's a lot of stuff to do with galvanized stuff as well, magnetism.
Exactly. The galvanized is how the batteries essentially work and distribute the aspects of this electrolysis reaction, and within the Leyden jars and all, and modern day batteries too. It's the science of batteries.
But one thing, Burn, that I did, because I'd sit there, and the thing is, this is what's good, and I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but I sit there and ask questions. I sit there and say, all right, why are they generating power 200 years ago at home? Like, what are they doing? What do they want the power for? And then when I started doing the research, obviously, when you ask questions, it comes to you, doesn't it? Like, not instantly, but a day later, you'll get shown. And then I come across a magazine, like from back in the day, and it started showing me games that were done with this tech, like electrical games from the 1800s. And it was like duck hunt games when you shoot a duck and the electric will make the duck fall down. And you think, wow, like they were doing that stuff like 200 years ago, 150 years ago. So you'd sit there in your room with a fake gun, and it'd be like, it's all done with like static electric. So as soon as you shoot it, it falls down. Like, that's the game, you know. But like from back then, electrical stuff, like, you're like, wow.
And
That's
it's like
phenomenal.
if they could figure that out, they could figure out a light bulb and lights, and then all the stories of the forever running lights and the Dendera bulbs and the Baghdad batteries. I'm pretty sure there was magicians or wizard kings that
Mate.
that the demigod king rulers, they all had this electricity that they just called magic, and hid from the average people over and over. And what's really fascinating here in this top left corner of this depictions looks like the stacked cell batteries as well, another type of battery with it. So it's just wow, the amount they cover up and hide is beyond.
It's phenomenal, mate. It's phenomenal. And that's why schooling is so important, because if you go to school, you're not going to go and research this stuff. You're going to be programmed in a room for the next 18, 20 years of crap about how to live your life for the next 40 years in the world they've created. They don't show you this stuff. This don't even exist. Like, apparently electricity come around when the light bulb come around in 1880s or whatever it was. It's just all a load of cobblers, isn't it?
Well, it truly is. Like, look at all these different types of batteries they got going here in the different cells.
Look at that. This one looks like a hand grenade, doesn't it?
Right? Like, just this one looks like a Joel cell.
But the thing is, like, I made one of them, and they're so. I made the Leyden jar, and they're so basic. It's just so basic. It's unbelievable. Like, if you was trying to make a battery now, it's like try and make a battery now, like, you wouldn't be able to do it. You would never be able to do it unless you had factory facilities.
Yeah, well, they make them so complicated, and
exactly.
also
So you can't do this yourself. Like I was saying a minute ago, Cam, this is all stuff you can make at home. And I found all this in a children's book, like a teenage book. And it was telling you how to do it all at home.
I know, and all we get taught is, I know they were just glass, clay jars, back from Mesopotamia, and they might have been, gold plating something with it, and that's about it, But look at all this stuff.
Exactly. And like, clearly they were advancing it, and like, this is just the most basic that they're teaching children. They're probably 10 designs or evolutions higher of it that was kept for the elites that actually powered full systems.
Well, there's that book that was going around a few years ago, and it was I think it was like the last school, like the last year of primary school, and had like a test in it, and it was harder than what you get at university, pretty much. And it was like primary school kid stuff.
That's amazing.
It shows that we have been dumbed down in a sense, So if a man of our age can't, or if a child that was 16 can't do something.
Imagine if you were taught these principles when you were young, and just taught them, and so you understood them from, for your whole life, how easy everything would be.
Well, this is the thing that I've noticed, right? I've obviously I've now there's a network of people now, right? And one of the guys in this network, he's from a different life. Like, he is from and when you speak to him, you can just tell that he's lived a different life. He's talking to stuff about half of the stuff he talks to me about I have to go and write down and Google after, because I don't know what he's on about. And you can just tell that he's from a completely different life. And my point is, like, I'm a council estate kid growing up. Do you know what I mean? I come from nothing. Just a normal guy going to school, going to work. Them characters don't get taught nothing. You just get taught how to live your life for the rest of your life without asking questions. But when you speak to the guy that I know, it's the geopolymer guy, the generational guy. His knowledge is phenomenal across the whole spectrum, and it's not just in in anything. And what my point is, they're just wired up different. They're just wired up completely different to us.
Yeah, it's like farmers, they have to know how to make everything, how to fix everything and do everything themselves. They just see the world differently. And, to school kids today who sit there and expect everything to just come from Amazon. Like most, this is the thing, we're at the point where a lot of people can't wash their clothes or cook their food.
I
Like,
know.
literally.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
Mm.
And do you know what? It's mainly the generation under me. I think my generation was the last one. Like when I left school, that's when phones started coming in. You know, so that was it. It's game over. As soon as the phone's in, mate, game over. I don't mean like the 3310 when you can just text or play Snake. That weren't consuming your time. It's when you've got the black screen. You got the scribing mirror. The scribing mirror. Yeah. That's what's consuming, mate. It's taking everything, like the TikToks, all that. It's just, boom, you ain't got no time.
100%. But luckily, the TikTok, some of this stuff's trending, and sadly, they banned me, those savages. Hopefully, I'll get it back one day.
You're banned off TikTok, Burn?
Yeah, I had an account for 2 months. I got 2,000 followers in 2 months, and then they're just like, oh, you're banned. Oh, we're not letting you create a new account. Oh, we're not letting you appeal the decision. You're gone. You're done. And literally all I had pictures up was like of Bert and Ernie and my alchemy experiments. That's literally all it was.
Wow, I think it was Bert and Ernie, mate. Come on. Did you put their pronouns up? That's the question.
Oh, God, yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, did I? And I didn't even make the joke of if they were a gay couple that I'd be myself.
What do you get when you put Bert together with Ernie? That's right, Bernie. Now, that's not a rude joke either, people.
You can see here the guy's actually discharging this one here. Like, you've got the little hand coming out on the right-hand side.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Yeah,
good
cool.
call.
Yeah.
The ground there, yeah.
Is that a spider coming down from...
Probably. This picture is like a conglomerate of all different things happening. So it's not what the guy's seen. It's just everything working together. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. And then each of the letters are labeled, and then there's the description probably on the next page explaining each part.
But yeah, look at this. You can see the house. Can you see the house? This little house in the corner. And you can see that it's got the ball on the top. So that was collecting the static electricity, and it's getting come down, and somehow they're drawing it off inside. Look.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, you're so on point. So that ball's going up the chimney down, and then they have another one going up above it that's connected to a big pole above it that's to the ground and bringing the ground energy up. You are genius.
And it's connected by a chain to another one.
Yeah, man. It's scary
What's
stuff,
in the
mate.
balls, man? Mercury? It's got to be, right?
It's amazing stuff. Nothing scary about it. I'm excited. I love it.
Has this got text in it, Paul? Like, is this...
Yeah, this has. But, I'm going to be honest with you. I can't remember how I obtained this because this is a couple of years old, I think. Or the images are a couple of years old for me. So I've just had the images on my laptop. Like,
I think
I do have the PDF.
An email from you from like a year ago with the stack of links to all these magazines. If you've lost them.
It'll be in there, man. I definitely do have it, but I just don't have it all.
Yeah, you did send me that. I got to go back through that. I downloaded them, and I've been meaning to. 100%. Hopefully, it's in English.
That's what I was thinking. But I think a lot of them were like the popular mechanics and all that kind of stuff were all English.
Yeah. Modern mechanics. I sent over 9 of them ones, or eight of them. They're like comics, weren't they?
Yeah, and heaps of advertising and stuff. But just really cool
so much stuff in there. It's phenomenal. Well, that's how I found out about the high pressure network and things like that, and the dynamo run off the high pressure. Yeah,
I saw the video you did. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Where you were showing all the underground canals and all the pipes and stuff. I pulled up. Have you looked into the machine of Marley?
No, I know about it though. I'm fully aware of it. In fact, I'm aware of it through you, Cam.
I was about to say, Cam, you introduced Paul to it last time. You should definitely bring that bad boy up again.
I think I've got a few bits. Hang on.
But you know what? Someone last night translated 90% of them images for me. You know?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I've kept it. I'm going to keep it completely natural because I'm going to read it as I go along. I wanted it to be authentic. I didn't want to read it and then I wanted to share it at the same time with everyone, if that makes sense. So I read one page just to see what it's saying. And I was like, oh my God, I've got to save this when I'm on the live.
And like, my God, I'm looking at this right now. Right in the center, there's those two discs, and then it looks like kind of water between it. But that's
I think
actually
that's a
that's
magnetic
static
field.
electricity plasma stuff.
Anesthetic,
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen, Vinnie Vincent, the guy with Ed Lead Scallon's rebuilt flywheel, have exactly this from the ground, and he like is able to levitate rocks through it. It's a huge charge
Wow.
coming between the two, and they're literally describing it, showing it here. Like, I had so many things are coming together.
Yes, mate. That's it. It's
And
phenomenal, though. It really is phenomenal.
it's only the quickening, right? We're reaching that point of the
apocalypse, yeah, man. The great unveiling, the singularity.
singularity. That's the one I'm going for. Screw the apocalypse. I want the elevation. Not
Screw
the
great.
So all this tech is from the same era as my electrical healing box down here. It's all the same sort of principles as well.
Mm.